President Barack Obama has told an interfaith vigil for the victims of the school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut, that gun culture in America has to change. 22-year-old Adam Lanza murdered his mother at home before going on the rampage at the school on Friday morning. Police are saying he was carrying hundreds of rounds of ammunition. President Obama told the service, "We can't tolerate this anymore," and he said he would use all the powers of office to prevent such tragedies happening again.
The interfaith service honoured the memories of the 20 young children and 6 adults. Mourners listened to speakers from the Christian, Jewish and the Muslim faiths. Before the service, US President Barack Obama met with the families backstage in private. Mr. Obama offered the community of Newtown the condolences of a nation and told residents they're not alone. When the first responders entered the auditorium, the crowd rose to its feet to express their appreciation. Meanwhile, outside, mourners set up a candlelit vigil with cards, letters, flowers and toys.
Then came perhaps the most single emotional moment in an evening filled with it, the President of the United States reading the names of the 20 children who were killed.
Charlotte, Daniel, Olivia, Josephine, Anna, Dylan, Madeline, Catherine, Chase, Jesse, James, Grace, Emily, Jack. God has called them all home. For those of us who remain, let us find the strength to carry on and make our country worthy of their memory.
In his emotional speech, President Obama has shown he can talk the talk when it comes to gun control issues. Now comes the hard part, convincing politicians and the gun lobby that the Sandy Hook massacre means it's finally time for a change.
The United States is not doing enough to protect its children. These were the words spoken by President Barack Obama as he attended the memorial services for the victims of the mass shooting at an elementary school in Connecticut. Obama pledged to launch an effort to reduce violence in the country.
Since I've been president, this is the 4th time we have come together to comfort a grieving community torn apart by mass shootings. We can't tolerate this anymore. These tragedies must end. And to end them, we must change.
Members of the audience wept when the president read the names of the 20 children and 6 adults who were shot at Sandy Hook Elementary School on Friday by a 20-year-old gunman who then took his own life.
The massacred Sandy Hook Elementary School has prompted soul-searching in the U.S. and sparked fresh debate about gun control. Obama didn't call for any concrete measures on Sunday, but insisted he would use his second term in power to stop these tragedies. Hundreds packed into Sandy Hook High School for the memorial service to offer their condolences and support, giving police and firefighters standing ovations as they entered. The tight-knit community had been shocked earlier to learn that the gunman, Adam Lanza, was carrying hundreds of rounds of ammunition, enough to kill almost every student if given enough time. Many parents say they can't imagine sending their children back to the elementary school, and authorities have yet to decide if it will reopen.
Watching at home the Calbor family, whose children both went to Sandy Hook Elementary. For them, the President's visit brought solace and comfort.
It's just not something we even remotely could think that it would be possible to happen here. It's the impossibility of it that's so hard to deal with.
A mile down the road, where Sandy Hook's Christmas decorations have been overwhelmed by tributes to the victims, people bringing them said they wanted action.
It's time for change. I'm left speechless. This is tragic. Innocent babies. I've got my granddaughter here and I don't want to let her go.
What do you think the president has to do?
Well, it's not just him, but stiffer, tougher gun laws.
We need to do something very soon. They have to get together, find some solution about it, because I can't believe it. It's not anybody can buy a gun like they buying candy or cookies in the store. That's crazy.
We just got to give these people some type of reassurance that something's going to be done about how lenient our gun laws are, because you just shouldn't be able to put your child in a classroom at the beginning of the day and never see them again because someone walked into that building with a gun and killed them.
2 years ago, at another mass shooting memorial, Barack Obama told Americans they can no longer be passive in the face of this violence. Very little has changed. And if this, America's worst school shooting, doesn't make a difference, many here fear nothing ever will.
Please stand and join in a moment of silent reflection for the victims, their families, and their loved ones.
From St. Louis to Liverpool and Miami to Milan, the senseless, horrifying murder of those school children in Connecticut has touched a nerve. Across the international sporting community this weekend, players and fans paused to remember their appalling deaths and the violent loss of innocence for the survivors at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Many athletes who possibly hadn't even heard of Newtown until Friday are reeling from the tragedy. They expressed their anger and condolences through their Twitter accounts. The boxer Mike Tyson said, "Those beautiful children didn't deserve to die. My prayers are with all of the families." Devastatingly unreal. And Manchester United's defender Rio Ferdinand said, "Another mass shooting in America. Thoughts are with the families of those involved." Many Premier League teams wore black armbands during the weekend, and AC Milan's Antonio Nocerino dedicated his goal against Pescara to the victims at Sandy Hook. For dozens of families in Connecticut, it is a devastating and unimaginable personal tragedy. But athletes all over the world have shown that the grief and the sorrow is global.